we are owing because you want to look good, then we may be looking for trouble. In reality, if you want to first of all spend before you save, you find out that there will be nothing left at the end of the day. The expensive and unnecessary subscriptions, Netflix, Prime, iFlix, all kinds of Disney Plus, Apple TV, all kinds of things to pay for on the television. Then you have DSTV. At the back of all this, you have to have stable internet. So at some point, you need to slow down, look at all that you are paying, and be sure that they are adding value to you. If they are not adding value to you, then it's better you remove them.
Good evening, and thank you everyone for joining. As we wait for the other people to catch up, we'll just start right now. Good evening. My name is Olanike Olatude, and I'm your host for tonight. Great people, welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope we all had a good day. And welcome to our very first episode of Value Vault Finance 101. And tonight's topic is journey into financial freedom in business and career. So like I said, tonight's topic is journey into financial freedom in business and career. So I will just briefly introduce you to our coach for tonight, who is no other than Engineer Lanre Fatokun, a seasoned professional with over 20 years experience across major sectors, actually, like oil and gas, banking, consulting. He's also a finance author, an investor, and also a coach. He's the author of this is for those of us that like to read. He's the author of In the Long Run on Retirement Planning, and a co-author of Money Matters and the Money Matters Workbook. For those that like to read, you can check out some of the books. Engineer Lanre is both aimed at equipping individuals, especially young adults, with practical tools for saving, investing, and also building long-term wealth, which is one of the reasons why we're here tonight. And as an active investor, and also in real estate, he has mastered the art of simplifying complex financial concepts into actionable steps. So, and all of these things we'll be learning from him today directly. We'll be learning directly from him today. Personally, I see that as a privilege. What a time to be alive, if you ask me.
Thank you very much, everybody. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
I'm trying to get my screen. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
You can see the presentation.
Of course, very clear.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for inviting me, and I hope to learn from you as much as I hope you learn from me. So we are discussing Finance 101, journey into financial freedom in business and career. We're going to look at the following, this outline. Number one, why finance matters, which I think that I don't even need to talk about that. I can just ask people why finance matters and they'll take number one for me. Number two, the 5 pillars of personal finance, then budgeting basics, assets versus liabilities, the power of compounding, debt, investing, and then a few questions from the house. So as we are getting on, I want you to note your questions. Ask serious questions. I mean, difficult questions if possible, because the more we ask, the more we are going to find out. And if I'm not able to answer the question, maybe somebody in the house could answer, or we find the answer and send it one way or the other to everybody. So please prepare your questions. So why does finance matter? If you think you could, please raise your hand and give us your idea on this topic. Why does finance matter? Anybody?
it matters. Oh, sorry, can I talk?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, it matters because it's one of the essentials for our daily living. Like it's one of those things that we need for everyday life.
Okay, thank you very much. So I've noted a few points here. The first one is that money is a tool, and a friend was. Oh, my screen is gone. Okay, good. A friend was discussing with me earlier today, and she talked about the fact that she's out of work, she's looking for a job, her car is giving issues. And while I was going through my presentation, I thought about it that money is really a tool. Maybe I should just call her and say, okay, take 500,000, fix your car. So if you have money, you can do a lot of good. If you make good financial choices, you have a lot of freedom. You can decide that this my God that is always stressing me. I think I'm even tired. I want to walk away, and you walk away. You can you can decide that you want to change the terms of your employment because really you have money and you are competent, so nobody should stress your life. That I want to work from home for the next 3 months, and instead of working from home, you could just travel the world and work from anywhere. Another reason why it's important is that most people are actually broke. If you can remember when we had President Buhari, Nigeria was called the poverty capital of the world. So it's real that there's a need all over the world. Now, at that time, and even now, Nigeria doesn't have the highest number of poor people in the world. It's just that the percentage for Nigeria is the highest, or was the highest. I don't know what it is at the moment. Also, whenever we make bad financial choices, we are stressed. We have to run around here and there. A friend we spoke yesterday told me that he had 20 million, he was owing a bank, and before he knew what was happening, in a matter of weeks, it was 40 million. And it was a lot of stress for him. He told me he has sold almost everything he has. The money is now down to 4 million. We don't want to be in that situation. Another reason why it's important for us to pay attention now is because time is running. So there were decisions we could have made in our 20s, decisions we could have made or we could make in 30s. By the time you are in your 40s, you begin to rethink. By the time you are in your 50s, you begin to feel like you are stuck because there's not much wiggle room left. During COVID, there was a bike company a friend told me about that. You buy slots, you buy slots in the like you buy a bike, they run it for some months, and then over the few months you get your money back. So she told me she was going to do it. I said, okay, take small money, put my money in it, and they continued paying for a while. After a time, COVID came, everything flopped, and that was the end of it. She now came up recently again and said that she saw another advert. Some people are going to buy a tricycle truck for about 11 million. In 18 months you have your money back. I said, are you going to collect the tricycle truck? She said, no, they're going to run. I said, no, me, I'm not interested in that kind of thing again, not at this stage. So when you find out at some point you are running out of time, so the earlier you get into this, the better. So 5 pillars of personal finance. The first one is earning, the second one is spending, then saving, investing, and then protecting. Now, every one of us has to earn. You have to have a source of income. You have to either be working somewhere, getting a salary, or trading, buying and selling something, making a profit, or you are manufacturing something, you sell it and you get some money, but you have to have a source of income. It's until then that you can really talk much about personal finance. The second part is spending. Everybody spends. In fact, even if you don't have an income, you will still spend money. Whether you borrow or you beg or something, but you just have to spend money. Economists call it autonomous consumption because you have to eat. Even if you don't have an income, you have to wear clothes, you have to live somewhere. So spending is always there. Now, it's when our earning is bigger than our spending that we have money to save and invest and grow. If earning is smaller than spending, then it's a bad situation. There's little saving that can happen. So the third point is saving. After you've earned, you have spent, and you still have some money left over, then you can save. And when you have built up your savings, you can invest. So after investing and you have really become big, then you talk about protecting what you already have. So if somebody has 2 million naira bank balance, that is still a good sum of money. Maybe that person can leave his phone lying on the table, then you see the SMS alert and say, you have so much money. Say, no, it's not my money, something, something, tell one story. But if you have 200 million bank balance, I'm sure you will run to the bank to first of all cancel SMS alerts. Then on your email app where you get the email alerts, you password it so that nobody can open it, because you have to protect what it is you have. So these are 5 pillars of personal finance. So in protecting, you're talking about insurance, you're talking about risk management, you're talking about estate planning, and several other things to make sure that what you have doesn't just disappear overnight. So earning, spending, saving, investing, and protecting. There was a man, Jim Rohn, motivational speaker, investor, finance expert. So he made the statement. He said, if your outgo exceeds your income, your upkeep will lead to your downfall. I find it very interesting every time I remember that statement. If your outgo exceeds your income, your upkeep will lead to your downfall. So the lesson from that statement is that we have to make sure that we keep our spending smaller than our earning so that we can move forward. I hope you can still hear me. You can give thumbs up if you can. So budgeting basics. One way to keep your spending down is to budget. You're expecting a salary or an income of 100,000. This is how you plan to spend it so that you'll be fine. Now, this 50-30-20 rule is getting popular. I don't use it, but I think it's good that we know about it. For some people, it could be useful. This rule says that you allocate 50% of your income to your needs like housing, utilities, food, transport, school fees, and so on. Then you allocate 30% to wants. And then wants are the things that they are not really critical, like entertainment, eating out or dining out, hobbies, and the like. Then the remaining 20% is what you allocate to your savings, and that could be emergency fund, investments, debt repayments, building, construction projects, and such. So I don't use this because when I heard about it, I felt it was too mathematical, too technical. I need to sit down and start calculating all those. This is what I use. I call it a future for strategy. But the summary is that you save before you spend. So if I decide that, okay, I'm going to save 20% of my income every month, the first thing I'll do when I get that income is to remove that 20% into the savings. So once you put that away, you have 80% left. Then you can allocate, you can live your life on the 80%. So, and when you are saving, it's very good that you save your money where you cannot easily access it. For example, if you use PiggyVest, which is an app, I believe we know about PiggyVest, you are restricted to one withdrawal per quarter. Every 3 months, you withdraw only once. So even if you save 20,000, 20,000, 20,000, in 3 months, you have 60,000. Another strategy is that you join an Agile group so that anything you are putting down, everybody's putting it down together. Maybe twice a year, once a year, you bring your money out and you have the lump sum that you can use for investing. So once I take out 20% for savings, Then I look at what is priority among all the things that I need: housing, utilities, food, school fees, transport, vehicle maintenance, and the like. Once I've covered all those ones, then I see what is available for me for once. Because in reality, you cannot have everything that you want. Needs are the important things. So for me, in my list of wants, I still want more savings and more investments. I know that if I have free money, I will find something to do with that money rather than just making myself feel good. So I take my wants. I want to see. I look at the stock markets. What can I get involved in? What what project do I have that I need to push some money into that's not yet done? Then I can look at, okay, the occasionally dine out, some hobbies, entertainment once in a while. Those things are coming, but the way this strategy works is that before you begin to spend your money, you save. Because in reality, if you want to first of all spend before you save, you find out that there will be nothing left at the end of the day after spending. Because there's so much to do with money that we may never have enough for. Now, one secret here is that for you to be able to do this budgeting properly, you need to track your expenses to understand your spending patterns. Many years ago, I was living with my brother then. I'll collect my salary, and somehow, by the end of the month, my salary would have finished. So I'll meet my brother's wife, please lend me some money. And she will give me the money. And once I got my salary, I'll pay back immediately without fail. I must have done this for like 2, 3 months consecutively, collecting money from her. She will always give me. So I went back to meet her. I needed some money. And she said, okay. And she brought out the money and gave me. And I said, sit down, let's talk. She said that you work and you earn. And that the salary you earn is what some people use to take care of their family. So how come you, single, not spending so much because you're not paying rent, you don't have a car, and you're not paying school fees? How come the money is not enough for you? She said, I don't have an issue lending you money because I know you will always bring it back. But something is wrong and I need you to look at it. So I thought about it then. This actually makes a lot of sense. There are some of my colleagues had cars. I did not have a car. Some were married. I wasn't married. So I had the pocket diary. Said this problem, I'm going to solve it. At the end of each day, I'll make a note. Today, transport, so amount, food, so amount. This, that. That's why I went. Within 1 month, I knew what the problem was. It was the people that will come and meet me and say, please, something has happened. Can you lend me this amount? Can you give me this amount? That was my problem that particular year. And within 1 month, I found the problem. By the second month, I did not need to borrow money again because all I had to do was to have a budget for giving to people that needed the money. So if assuming my budget was 10,000, after I learned the lesson, once I had given her 10,000, no matter what somebody comes to tell me, it's till next month too. And then I was fine after that. So that was how I was able to drop the strategy and be able to plan my life well. And I believe that works for every one of us. So one important lesson we need to learn is the difference between assets and liabilities. In business studies in JS2, JS3, we were taught assets and liabilities, but I really cannot remember that definition anymore. I've paid attention to this definition so much that one is out of my head. An asset is anything that puts money in your pocket, and a liability is anything that takes money out of your pocket. So what puts money in my pocket? Rental properties. What takes money out of my pocket? The house I own, which I live in, because I will pay the plumber, pay the electrician, pay the gardener, and on and on. So some people actually tell you that it's better not to have a house. Everybody has their own ideas. Dividend paying stocks, they put money in your pocket. A loss making business takes money out of your pocket. So it's possible for a business to be a liability. Business investments bring money. Skills that generate income, they bring money. On the other side, I say phones on credit, they take money out of your pocket, especially when you're not doing business with the phone. Unnecessary luxury vehicles. I have to underline the word unnecessary because it's not like luxury vehicles are a problem. If you get them at the right time for the right purpose, it's not a problem at all. Some 5 6 years ago or so, in Lagos, then I heard that a Rolls Royce was going for about 100 million. So, and somebody that got it then was he's a real estate developer. I just told one of my friends that this guy just needed to sell 3 4 5 houses and he could get the Rolls Royce and it was fine. But if a salary earner wants to get the Rolls Royce, he will still borrow, cheat, do everything to get the Rolls Royce, and then to maintain it now becomes a problem. So it will continue to take money out of his pocket. I remember this one is many years ago when I don't know, when 2 million could buy you a car. A man had two Range Rovers, and his PA told us then that for him to service the vehicles, he had to open an account with Costaris. The account, he will open it with 1 million naira, and then after servicing, which will be about 300 to 400,000, he has to replenish the account back to 1 million. And I'm telling you that then a vehicle, I bought a Yaris then, the vehicle was less than 2 million naira. So such a thing could take money out of your pocket if it is not here at the right time or the right purpose for it. Another one is expensive and unnecessary subscriptions. So we have Netflix, we have Prime, you have iFlix, all kinds of Disney Plus, Apple TV, all kinds of things to pay for on the television. Then you have DSTV. At the back of all this, you have to have stable internet. Then you have estate dues. You are going to pay electricity distribution company, you pay them, and so on. We continue to pile them up and pile them up. So at some point, you need to slow down, look at all that you are paying, and be sure that they are adding value to you. If they are not adding value to you, then it's better you remove them. Okay, you cut them off so that you have free money to do the important things in your life. I hope you can still hear me.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Time is flying now. Okay, so the power of compounding. Compounding means that you take something small and you manage it and manage it and it becomes very big. So in primary school, at least when I was primary school, we learned simple interest. Then in secondary school, we learned simple interest. Later, we added compound interest to it. So there are 3 points here. The first one is that you need to learn to take small steps. You need to learn to take small steps consistently, and then you
Sorry,
can
sir.
expect. Yes.
I don't know if it is my screen or the presentation is black at the upside at the top. It's black.
Uh,
I can only see the results. Okay. It's clear now.
okay, it's clear now. All right, great. Okay, so the key word I underlined there is start. The important thing is that you start. Many of us have great dreams, great things we want to do, but we don't remember to start. If you start, even if it's small, like the little child in the picture, if you continue, it's going to become big. If we want to do something great and you don't pull out, you just keep at it, you will get there. That number 3 says that 100,000 naira at 10% annual return becomes 259,000 in just 10 years. And you know, if you are putting your money in the right places in Nigeria today, you should be able to get up to 20%. So that's the wonder of compounding. Anything you are doing, keep at it, don't stop, and you're going to get better and bigger. So debt management, debt is always a problem. Good debt builds income and wealth. Bad debt drains income and wealth. A friend I told you earlier, we spoke
Excuse me,
yesterday. Yep.
sorry, but it's still halfway covered. I think there's a problem with
The whole screen or just the header?
halfway.
The whole screen.
Like half of the screen is covered with.
Oh wow. Are you sure it's not your internet? Is that the same situation for everybody?
Okay,
Is this
It's fine now.
yes, sir.
Okay, I think it's loading slowly. Okay, so I spoke with a friend yesterday and that explains debt to us. And so he wanted to borrow some money from me some months ago, and I did not have it. So yesterday now I said, how far have you been able to get through this? So he told me what happened. He's a farmer, which I'm aware of, and he now took a bank loan to grow his business, and then his chickens died, and he couldn't meet up with the obligations anymore. So the good debt became a bad debt. He said at one point he was owing like 20 million, and like a matter of months it turned to 14 million. He said, this is crisis. He started looking for people to go to the bank to beg them to stop the interest, started selling things to knock it off. So if we are owing because we want to do business, we want to grow our capacity, that's fine. But if we are owing because you want to look good, then we may be looking for trouble. So we have to manage it very well. It's also possible to manage a good debt in such a way that it becomes a bad debt. So we have to be careful about all that. Think very well, do all your calculations before you take a loan. Then basics of investing. There are low risk investments, medium risk investments, high risk investments. So I told us about someone that told me to come and invest in a keke truck, tricycle truck. That was high risk. They made a lot of promises, but I'm not interested. There was one year Peter Obi was speaking at the platform in Lagos, and he said he went to the UK, met an old white man. He said he has also millions of pounds in his savings account. I said, how much are you getting? He said 2% per annum. Say, well, if you give me that money, I can get you at least 15% per annum on this money. Said the old man, just told me, don't worry, 2% per annum with peace of mind is better than 15% per annum. And the man did not give me any money. So it just stood with his low risk, no problem, nothing to worry about. So sometimes you can mix them up. You put some money in low risk, some money in medium risk, some money in the high risk, so that whatever happens, you are still balanced. A savings account is the worst case you can ever think of. You don't really get much out of it. I mentioned PiggyVest earlier. I think PiggyVest does about 18 or so percent. If you do government bond, maybe you get about 18%. If you do the money market fund with the finance houses, maybe you get up to 20%. Somebody told me she just commercial paper, Dangote commercial paper just matured, and it was about 24% or something. So there are good opportunities which will help us to balance our portfolios right. So I think this is the second to the last slide now. Practical tips for success. Track your money, which I already mentioned. Automate your savings so that the moment your salary comes in, your savings go out without you having to think whether you really want to save or not. Then avoid lifestyle inflation. There is a law that's called Parkinson's law. What the law says is that your expenses will always rise up to match your income. So when your salary is 100,000, you will see that you can survive with 90,000, you can save 10,000. When your salary goes to 200,000, for one reason you cannot explain, somehow 150,000 is not enough for your daily expenses anymore. By the time your salary goes to 1 million, it's like 900,000 is so small. We thought it was a lot of money. There's a friend of mine that when we all started work then, I came to Badon one day and I met him, and he was working in the bank. He said, congratulations, you got a good job. See, those of us in Lagos, it's a struggle for you to get land. But here in the Badon, get land somewhere and start building. Say, okay, it's a good idea. Then the next time I saw him, he had bought an old Honda Hala. I thought you said you were going to start building. He needs mobility. Okay, makes sense. Start building. Then later I came, he took me to his house. It was in an area that was not so good. To work, but anyway, still start building as we discussed. Then the next time I saw him, he said this car was not good enough, so he bought end of discussion. You are getting off course. No, I'm going to build. Then the next time I saw him, he said that the area he was living, the car did not match the area, so he had to move house again. Till now he has not built. It's a bad story. It's a terrible story. But I can't tell you the rest of it. It's really bad. So, but make sure that is not you. It's better you grow your capacity than to look good in front of everybody. There's this saying that we spend money we don't have to buy things we don't need to impress people we don't like. There's no point impressing them, but nobody will even notice you anyway. Then the fourth point, diversify your income. make sure that you're earning money from different places. Dr. Olumide man, I heard him say recently that he during COVID he had a friend who had a chain of hotels, and he warned this guy that you cannot have all your investments in one sector. So the guy said, "No big deal, Jerry. I'm making a lot of money," and then COVID came, and the guy's investment went from high to zero, that he was not earning any money again. Say, and you want you. So that's the way it is. If you have your hand in this business and it's doing well, once you can stabilize it, move to another place again and to another place. So I look at Zenith Bank. I think it was last year interim dividend. Jimovia was getting about 16 billion naira as his interim dividend. So I'm just imagining that was not his only investment. It will be here, and he could take money, get it from here and put it in another place, so that whatever happens, it's still standing fine. Then finally, keep learning. Read, attend seminars, discuss with smart people so that you can also be smart. So track your money, automate your savings, avoid lifestyle inflation, diversify your income, and keep learning. So in closing, it's not really how much you earn that matters, it's how much you keep and grow that builds your wealth. Thank you very much. So we can take questions now.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much, Engineer Lanre. Thank you, sir, for that insightful and impactful session.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
so much. We truly appreciate the knowledge and wisdom. It's a short period, but I've learned a lot, and I'm sure everyone here tonight have learned a lot as well. Before Q and A, please, before Q and A, can we unmute and clap for Engineer Larry, please, everyone? If you know you've learned a lot.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So, in the next 20 minutes, if you have any question, I'm sure we've all written down one or two questions. The key point for me was that the debt management aspect, the low risk, medium risk, high risk. Because I think one thing people run away from when it comes to when they hear come and invest is the fact that your heart will first pound. You don't know if you're going to lose all your money, or nobody wants to lose money. So I learned a lot there too. Debt management is actually very important. It's important that we have the knowledge of where our money is going to and the risk to expect. In the next 20 minutes, we can all ask our questions. Thank you very much. Thank you once again, sir.
You're welcome.
Okay, so if you have any question, please raise your hand so we can take it one after the other. Thank you.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, thank you very much for this session. Thank you. It is very really insightful, and I'm happy to be here. My question is, as a beginner, like as somebody that is just growing and just coming up in the career or in life, sha. So what advice or insight can you give to somebody about investment, like somebody that want to invest, like that want to go into investing, and how to actually build um investing habit as a beginner?
Okay, thank you very much. So what I'll say is that first, I'm trying to find, yes, this slide. First of all, make sure that you have free cash, that you have disposable income. So when you have your earning and you make sure that your spending is below your earning, that way you can build up cash in your savings. Like I mentioned, PiggyVest, it's I think it's an excellent one, and it's run by young people. I think they've done more than 5 or 7 years now. So you can keep your money there until you're able to build up substantial money to put into other investments. So that is actually the starting point. You need to keep money aside. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for sharing your valuable insight with us today. I just have one question, sir.
Okay.
So, you mentioned compounding. So, I want to have for individuals who struggle with patience in investing and waiting for their money to compound and grow. Just like you said, I am sure I saw a slide on your presentation where you said, okay, if for example, 100,000 is being invested in 10 years, it will be 290,000. So, like, let's say someone like me, for example, will calculate in my head, ní àárín 10 years, ní 190,000, yàtọ̀ hard sí. So, what advice would you offer to someone like me in that time to help me stay on track and achieve that financial growth? Because at the same time, I will be thinking in my head that, oh, I said I want to build wealth. And nínú 10 years, owó mi kàn accumulate sí 190,000. Ọmọdé mélòó gan mo wá fẹ́ lò láyé tó wà fi pé mílíọ̀nù. So,
Okay, thank you very much. So, what our advice is that you should diversify. Ideally, you can't leave all your money in the bank and be staring at the money. You are dealing with inflation, you are dealing with exchange rates volatility, and so on. So you can have some money, some cash in cash investments. You can do other things with your money. It's not like everything you have should be in one place. But patience is very important. Even if you are a trader, it will take you time to master the business. And then when you find out that this is where you can get the cheapest price, you find another place later that somebody else is getting it cheaper and it's even better quality. And later you can find out that if you package it this way, it will be more appealing to the market. So whatever it is you are doing, you still need patience. I was at a park in Ibadan some weeks ago, and one woman came and now called the name of one driver. Say, you can't remember me anymore. Say, no. Say, you used to be very young when you used to take my children from Benin to Ibadan to school. Say, and then the man remember. So, whatever it is you are doing, you still need time. For you to be a professional, you need time. For you to be a doctor, that when you speak, everybody listens. You need time. For you to be a successful politician, it takes time. It's not the day you start you're going to get there. For you, anything you want to do, it takes time. But if you diversify and put your money in different places, you may be able to wait for it to grow. Thank you.
can you give more resources on diversifying, sir?
Okay, diversifying. So examples, if I put money in piggy bank because I'm building it up, piggy vest because I'm building my money up, so I'm going to get interest in that. The moment I have good money, if one of my goals is to build a house, then I can take the money and go and buy land. Piggy vest starts growing again. Let's say I bought land 1 million naira. So I bought the land 1 million naira in 2024. By 2026, that land is not good for 1 million naira again. No. But then piggy vest is growing. So I can take money from piggy vest again and do foundation. So I'm adding value to that land. It's also possible for me to say, okay, I have 2 million in piggy vest. I've been hearing that GTB shares are doing well, so I go and buy some shares or something. It's possible for me to say I've had this business idea for many years. I've not had money to implement it, so I take from my savings. I go and start that. So it's just important that we'll try out several things. I started listening to an interview yesterday. Bill Winston is a black American, and they said he actually manages 20 businesses. The first question the interviewer asked him was, how do you sleep at night? And the man jokingly said, I don't sleep. But later he explained that as long as you have the right set of people that can work with you, then you can hand this business over to that person. It's only the reports you will be checking and following it up. So put your hands in several places, and I believe we'll do well with that way. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
And that will be all for tonight. Thank you very much for joining us, everyone. I hope we all have a good night rest.